You know, I'm going to tell you something, Andreas. Today is not about you.
No.
It's about me.
Yes.
And that guy.
Yes.
Way back then, I had an old tape recorder, and I took the back off it, and I would like lick the finger and stick the finger on, and it would start to do bizarre things. And I had no kind of knowledge or experience of electronic parts, but I did know that there were things called capacitors and resistors. And I found that with this thing, with the back off it, if I added a capacitor here or a capacitor there, hey, it would oscillate. Let's talk about the Roland 101. Talk about the Moog, baby, yeah.
I don't want to talk about gear. What about another beer?
Yeah. So, hey, listen to this one. This guy, he's called Dougie, by the way. He wrote to the Human League, right?
Okay.
And they were in a place in England called Sheffield. And they sent us a cassette. And on this cassette, they hadn't released any vinyl yet. On this cassette was a track called Being Boiled. And I think that's one of their foundation tracks. But I mean, it was amazing because we could communicate back and forward. As I said, we got a machine called a Melos Echo machine, and we got that off Cabaret Voltaire.
Yeah.
So back in those days, these bands weren't big. They were going to be big, but they were very special.
Yeah, they were going to be big 20 years later. Like,
yeah. So I seem to remember there's a town near where I live called Dunfermline, and the Dunfermline Kinema, that's what they called it. They had Susie and the Banshees, they had the Damned, they had the Fall, all in one gig.
I mean, that was obviously far before my time. But like as you mentioned, Throbbing Gristle, that was very much inspiring me, and just to let go and just tweak the knobs until everything blows up, you know, and have yeah, just go over the maximum.
Yeah.
There's not 10, there's 11, or there's even 12, you know. By the way, we are just...
I think this discussion of roots is a good thing.
Yeah.
And just what you were leading on to there is fantastic, because it then leads into what we were talking about, like chaos and going mental. And I think that Throbbing Gristle, where that was the one for me, because it was so outrageous, so bad, the vibe was bad, everything about it kind of evil and nasty, and that was very funny. And I think that humor is based a lot on taboo subjects.
Yeah.
Yeah? We've got quite a politically correct society just now. I was listening on the radio the other day, and it was a woman who was discussing that political correctness has stopped certain types of humor being allowed.
Yeah.
Okay? And she said, if political correctness becomes more and more, we will have nothing to laugh at anymore, because it will be taken away.
Myself. Well, obviously I'm a little bit younger than you. I don't want to say you're old, but I'm saying I am getting old.
Yeah.
But I started as a guitar player. Like I was a super sportsman, and then I broke my ankle. And then when I was in the hospital, a friend of mine gave me a guitar. So that's how I started doing music. And then I started a band a day after,
right.
punk rock band.
Yeah.
And and then we did some rehearsals, and then our drummer was always sick, and then I played the drums, and then when the drummer was okay again, everybody said, no, you keep playing the drums, and that's how I started being a drummer.
Yeah.
And then after a little while, and after knowing what is possible with music and electricity and sound, I was like, okay, I want to do a little bit more, and I bought a drum machine.
Yeah.
That's how I got into electronic music, because I thought, like, whoa, if you have a nice drum machine and you put some crazy distortion after it, and then boom, it's also punk rock. You know, you don't need a guitar and a bass to play punk. You can also do punk rock with
putting a drum machine in a distortion box. That's kind of what we did as well. It was like we had, what was it, a DR55, the original. Boss, was it? Little drum machine, small thing.
The small black one.
Yeah, that's right. With that, the little two computer buttons on it. And this thing was great. The more we took things like that and distorted them and stuff, the sounds really came. And industrial music at that point, that was kicking off as well. So there was Throbbing Gristle, and it was Cabaret Voltaire. And it was a Human League. I'll be waiting in the usual place.
Yeah, and I don't think it's very progressive if you cut certain things. You know, if you say you can't do this, you can't do that anymore. Yeah. And as I see, most of or some of the artists nowadays, they only want to make a hit at some point and want to be famous and look good, and nobody dares to just fuck it up, you know?
Yeah. Listen.
That's not interesting for me, you know. I wanna make an impact to
tamper with the mind.
People,
yeah. So for me, actually, it was not just necessarily a completely musical thing, because I think in vision as well as sound. So photography has always been probably one of the most important things in my life. And sadly, I worked as a photographer for nearly 10 years and killed my love for photography. And it was only when I stopped a few years later that I would get back into it. And imagery and moving imagery, I think it combines very well with sound. Yeah. I think for me, it was when I started to see, shall we say, large moving images as a background while people are performing. Yeah. I thought that this is amazing. It's a great fusion between sound and vision. You can be abrupt and hard and coarse with music, but you can also do the same with the backgrounds. And it's fantastic. Sometimes what happens with me is that maybe I'm building something that I've been working on, and man, I just got to hear it. And then I think, I think the day's work is done now. So let's shut the curtains, right? Let's get my old slide projector on, which has got this really powerful light. Let's film in black and white. Let's have some smoke going. And then I start doing my videos in black and white and stuff. But there's a video that I'd like you to see. And I called it Century Media. Which is a very corny name. It's a kind of abstract video that I did where I went to my scrapyard where I used to pick up old organs like Lowry's, Hammonds and Yamahas and smash them up to get the parts, you know. So I took some still pictures of a doll that I found, and the poor thing had no arms on it, no legs. Yeah, but it had a diaper on it, which is so bizarre. And I found some old mirrors, and I started playing a kind of strange. I mean, for instance, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one of my favorite ever films.
Yeah.
It's kind of horrible, and here I had some material to be horrible with. And I was thinking, man, take the stills, and when you get back, put some sound to it. So, hey, do you want to look at this now?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Let's have a look then.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Yeah, excellent.
Maybe you should do a video for me someday.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think I will. Hey,
Okay.
would you like to walk off stage now?
Yes, let's do that.
Let's do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was Mr. Ken Macbeth, well known as Mr. FucketYbUcKetY, and the singer of this performance. If you want to see that, this is the link. And Mr. Marco Haas, well known. If you search the web for this name, you will find plenty of videos for him. He's a performing artist. And if you want to see the whole channel and all the videos we're making here, you have to go here. This is the link. Thank you very much for watching. I'll make it short and say bye-bye. Thank you.